Long way to go from Oceania out to Malta. It's at least a day of travel plus another 4 to 12 hours depending on how cheap you want your flights. So always impressive when you can see a lifter from that part of the world come out and compete this far from home and still do well. Hopefully he got here early enough to adjust to the time schedule. Depth looks solid. Bar moved well. Did move really well. So let's hope to see a reasonably smooth second as well. Gets a big deep breath, gets nice and tight, fights through the stick. That's the way a second should generally move. And he's got a little bit left to move to 5 from his second, which did move noticeably slower than his opener. So this is probably a good call.
Another perfectly judged third attempt.
Yes, he fought through that stick class. Is going to be full of future battles to come.
Felt for Jess, though, her deadlift just didn't seem to be there on the day. We're used to seeing her load up and pull for just about anything she needs.
Yes, and I have a personal connection there. I was coaching her on the platform along with Garrett Blevins, and I'm her personal coach, so it was tough to see her not be able to get what I know she'd worked so hard for. But a tremendous fighter. She did the best she could on the day with what she had.
Now that was we have Samuel Butterworth for 182.5. He's gone up 5. His opener wasn't super easy.
And 5 is a conservative second attempt. Let's hope it's conservative enough. You'll notice he's electing to do a self lift-off. That is something that many lifters do because they simply want to be in control of their own destiny, make sure the bar is where it needs to be and not have to rely on the potential variance of a spotter doing it for you. And that was the right call, I think.
Now, if you were coaching here, would
not cutting short your lockout on deadlifts, because if you come into competition, you will play like you practice. A lot of support from the Australians in the crowd.
Now, he seemed really close to his limit on 182.5. So this is only 2.5 kilos more, the smallest jump he could make.
That's right, and you were suggesting it might even be worth not coming out for this. Oh.
Well, it went further than I expected it to, but it's not going all the way.
Yeah, unfortunately hitting an invisible wall right before a lockout. And as you can see, I wouldn't call that quite. And the deadlifts is one lift that most lifters tend to get a little more aroused for. They hype themselves up. They get themselves to a place where they can really just grip it and rip it, as they say, especially on the conventional pull. A little different on the sumo that's a lot more technical, and you don't want to bobble or lose balance at the top. And that had a stick through the middle, but then it was pretty quick at the top.
Here's Sam Butterworth from Australia with 310.
Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned, he had that stick point just above kind of once it broke the floor. He made a 10 kilo.